I am recording this message on Thursday, and Thursday is, as you know, Yom Ha'atzmaut, which is the Independence Day for the State of Israel, marking the creation of the State of Israel in 1948. In Israel and in the diaspora, it is a moment of great celebration with a magnificent tekes, a magnificent ceremony on Mount Herzl in Jerusalem. People from all over the country and from the diaspora come to Jerusalem to rejoice in the rebirth of a Jewish state and to acknowledge its many achievements. I personally attended such a ceremony in 2010, and I have to say it left an indelible mark on me. The day before, yesterday, it was Yom HaZikaron, Remembrance Day, and the entire country comes together and mourns the victims of the many wars Israel was involved in, as well as the victims of terror attacks. Most of them are buried on Mount Herzl together with the founders of the state and prominent Israeli politicians and peoples. I know that this day doesn't come without controversies. The Palestinians mark on the same day the Nakba, the catastrophe that they saw in the creation of Israel in 1948. Some Jews and non-Jews alike do not want to celebrate Israel as long as the conflict with the Palestinians is not resolved. But wherever you stand on the political spectrum and whatever your views are on Israel, what has been achieved there in over 70 years is breathtaking. I know that even pronouncing this statement may attract some criticism, but there is one single Jewish state in the world, of the size of Wales, a place of refuge for hundreds of thousands of people fleeing post-war Europe, and 1 million Jews fleeing from Arab countries from where they were expelled in the 40s and 50s. Whether you want it or not, Israel is now part of our Jewish identity. It is the land promised by God to Abraham, the land of our longings in the liturgy, our hope to be next year in Jerusalem, as we said at the end of the Seder, making it a land for freedom. And more recently, a shelter for survivors of the Shoah and for Jews expelled from the Arab countries. Of course, there are important issues, and Israel will be entirely safe only when the relationships with Palestinians and other Arab neighbors reach a state of peace. For me, the existence of Israel teaches an important lesson, and that is complexity. Our sentiments towards Israel are complex. The situation in Israel itself is complex. The feelings of those who oppose Israel are also complex. Is it just anti-Zionism or are there actually anti-Semites? Even those who claim to be Zionists need to add some nuance to it. Between the religious Zionists who are settling in the territories and the progressive Zionists, which we are mostly in the progressive movement, there is a world of difference. And the truth is, we cannot read the situation with our Western eyes and our biased medias when it comes to Israel. This small country is a bridge between the West and the East, and its fate, I believe, its fate is to embrace this position. On Friday evening, we will join the LGS and Fincher Progressive Synagogue to celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut with the Leobex Education Center in Haifa. It is an institute of learning based on progressive values, and its rabbi, Ofek Meir, is a progressive rabbi trained at the HUC in Jerusalem. And lastly, on another note, Joshua Dodds will celebrate his bar mitzvah this Shabbat with his family and with his community. Another great occasion to rejoice. I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Shabbat, and in the meantime, keep safe and keep your spirit up.